Okay, so before we get started on this video, I just wanted to mention something. Those of you who have watched my 12 build series, you will know that the third one should be the Mitsubishi G3M. However, I decided to switch the Macchi C.200 with the G3M. And it was actually a little mistake on my part because I wanted to keep the bigger builds till the end. So so instead of you guys getting the G3M, you guys are getting the little Italian plane instead. So they'll just be switched. And to be honest, a lot of you guys in my comment section have been asking for Italian planes. So I'm bringing you one now. Hello Aces and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how to build the Macchi C.200 Saetta. So this is an Italian World War II fighter plane, but it was actually developed during the 30s. But it was built to replace the aging CR-32 and CR-42 biplanes, which I do have tutorials on both of those, so you can check them out. There should be a card in the top right corner. And this plane also laid the basis to a future plane that I will be making, the Macchi C.202, and also the 205. So, as you can see, this plane is very easy to make. So it's just literally 3 layers. And let's go over the dimensions really quickly of the airplane. It is a 2:1 scale, like all my builds are. It is 17 meters long by 23 meters wide, and that's from like wingtip to wingtip. And it is 8 meters high from the ground to the tail. So, if you want to build the plane, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need black wool, buttons, sandstone slab and stair, dark oak wood stair, dark oak wood slab, nether brick slab, white wool, dark oak wood planks, block of iron, and glass. And then for your cockpit materials, you're going to need stone brick stairs, end rod, which is also going to be used for the pitot tube, which is not part of the cockpit, an item frame, a clock, or compass, whichever one you prefer, and a lever. Now, before we get started, I just want to mention, you may notice that there's a bunch of like these camouflage patterns on this airplane. I will be showing you how to do that at the very end of the tutorial, so because it'll be very kind of annoying to keep switching through each of the slabs to place each individual one. So the easiest way to do these is to basically build it all out of one color first. I recommend the sandstone, and then you just go over with your dark oak wood slabs and stairs and blocks just in random places to make some camouflage. So anyways, we will go and get started. Okay, so for the first part, you are going to grab a random block and you're just going to go up by 2, and on your third one, then you're going to delete the 2 underneath, and this will be the very start to the very front of the plane. You're going to add 13 on the back of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then you're going to have a slab here. Now what you're going to do is you are just going to, I think there's a slab down there. Yeah, there's a slab. You're going to add a slab here. And then you're going to put slabs going all the way down until I think it's 1 short. Yep, 1 short. And you do the same thing on the other side. And that's literally it for the first layer. So, but there's also the wings as well, so we'll have to get those in. And there's also blocks that go over top. And if there's any mistakes that I did, or if there's any thing I need to add, I will let you know. Okay, so I do have this right. So now for the next part, to building your fuselage, you're going to place 1 block here. This is going to go all the way down until you go 1 past the slab here, like on the underneath part. Then you're going to have 1, 2, and then you're going to, on your third one, you're going to have a upside down stair. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're just going to drag this down until it hits into there. And just remember it's 1, 2 blocks and then a stair at the back. So now, for the ailerons of the plane, now I think if I double check, they're at the top. Yes, they are. They're at the top section. So you're going to place a slab here and here. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then on your fourth one, you're just going to have a 1. And then you're just going to basically join these up and fill that in. Same thing for the other side. You're just going to fill in these 2 with your slabs. And then 1, 2, 3, and then a 4. Your fourth one should be out by 1. And there you go. So there's your ailerons. So now, we're just going to put in the wings, and then we can move on to the next layer. Okay, so to put the wings in, you're going to come right to the front of the plane. You're going to skip 2, and then on the lower part of the block, so not on the slab, but on the lower part of this block, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to take this out 10. So counting this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then your 10th one is going to be, you're going to break one here, and it should be a 2. Is it a 2 or a 3? Yeah, it's a 2. And then you're going to skip 1, and then you're just going to join this with that. So you're skipping 1 slab here. So do the same thing on the other side. You're going to skip 2 blocks. On the top part, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or no, I should say the bottom part of the block. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then your 10th one, you're going to have 2. And then you can just come back around and connect that in. Remember to leave this one here. And then you're just going to fill it in. And then we will put the engines on. Like we'll put the engine in. And the landing gear as well. And then we'll just build up from there. So as you can see, very easy plane. Okay, so the next part we're going to put in is the landing gear. So for that, oh, and I think I forgot to mention that you need a cobblestone wall. So with your cobblestone wall, you're going to come right to the beginning of the plane. You're going to go 1, 2, well, you're basically going to skip 2, and on the third one, but you're going to go 1 more back. You're going to have your cobblestone wall here. It's going to go down by 2, and you're going to have a piece of black wool attached onto there. Now we'll do the other side just to get it in. So if you come to the other side, you're going to go 1, 2, and then on your third one, you're going to come down by 2, and you're going to put 1 block here. Just make sure it's even. Yes, it is. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add two buttons on each side, and then you're going to have 1, and then a 1 block here, and then a upside down stair here. These basically are gear covers, so when the landing gear folds into the plane, this cover would cover up the wheel, so there's no like big hole in it. And then you're going to have another one here, and you're going to do the same thing there. And I believe that's it for the landing gear. Oh, and this one I actually didn't even place an upside down stair. I'll fix that later. But yeah, that's basically it for the landing gear. And then another little detail is you're going to grab your nether brick, and you're going to skip 1 nether brick slab. You're going to put 1 here, and then a sandstone slab on the back of that, just to make a little intake. And then for the rear landing gear, you're going to come, I think it's right, yeah, it's right here. So you skip 1 from the end, like where this block is. You put 1 here, and then you're going to put your tail and your tail wheel, and then your buttons on the side. So that finishes basically all the landing gear. And then we could just grab our iron, and you can go 1, 2, 3, and then your 4th one like that, and then you're going to place a button right like that. So there we go. So now that's that completed. So now we will build up more of the fuselage, and yeah, so the fuselage is the only thing left we need, and then just the final little details, and then we're done. Okay, so for the next part, this is the part that's a little tricky if you don't pay attention to what I say. It can be a little tricky. It's basically this part. Now the way this plane is shaped is a bit weird. It has this big cowling where it holds the engine, but then it kind of like curves into the fuselage, the shape. So I tried to replicate that as best as possible, but this is basically what we're making. So, well, it is easy, but it can be tricky for some. But if you're going to come to the front of the plane, you're going to place 2 stairs here, and then 2 slabs right here. So two stairs and 2 slabs. And then you're going to grab your blocks, and this is going to go all the way down until here. So basically, it should line up right with this slab. And then you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So just like that. And then place some slabs here. And then I believe you're going to put a connection in here up to here. Now, build it up to here for now. I'm going to show you where to put the cockpit, and then we're going to finish out the rest of it. So, but yeah, that is, oh, I did not mean to place a block there. But that is what it should look like. So it should be 2 stairs, and then 2 slabs here, and then your blocks are going to go all the way until they match with this, and then basically just 1 slab on the back of that. So let's go find where the cockpit is, and then we'll continue on. Okay, before we continue any further, I just did a little bit of Google searching this plane a little bit, just to make sure that everything was all nice and stuff. And I've actually realized that the design I have over here is not entirely accurate. This is an open cockpit plane, although some of them did actually have a fully enclosed cockpit, I think the later ones. But I placed two cockpits, I placed two pieces of glass like this, when what it actually should look like is it should look more like this. So I've actually changed the design a little bit, and so we'll be putting in this cockpit here. So let's go do that. I just wanted to mention that in case you realize that the build has changed a little bit since the beginning of the tutorial. I sometimes like to do this, like look up as I'm even doing a tutorial to make sure everything is actually accurate. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. So let's go continue on. Okay, so to find where the cockpit's gonna go, it's pretty easy. You're just actually gonna add one block here, and then you're gonna add 2 blocks of your black wool, and then you're going to add you're gonna build that up with sandstone with your sandstone blocks, and then you're just going to fill this in until it touches right here. So one before the stair, and then you're just gonna place a slab on the stairs right here. So this is where your cockpit is, and then you're going to place a upside down, a right side up stair here, but facing backwards. And then you are just going to have 1, 2, and 3 slabs, and then this is where your tail will go, and that is just 4, 3, and 2, just like that. And then you're going to not have stairs on it. There's no stairs on it. And then all you're just going to do is place your glass in just like that. So it's a very small cockpit, but this thing really did have an extremely small cockpit in real life. So, but this is kind of the view you can get into your plane. If you don't want to place all the seats and you just kind of want to sit inside the plane, this is kind of your little view you're gonna get. So it's a pretty cool little view. So now, just to finish up the plane before we do all the final details, you can just place your propeller in. And then you're just going to use your black wool. Oh, and I should probably show you, in case you don't know how to do this. So basically, on each of these 4 corners where you got your 2 slabs, 2 stairs, you're just going to place black blocks like this. And then you're going to go 1 down and make it 2. And this is going to be for your propeller. Now, once again, I always say these with some of my fighter planes. I do understand that this plane had a 3-bladed propeller, but 3 blades does not work in this game very well. So, I mean, if you really want to see how 3 blades, I mean, what you could do is you can have 2 down here, and then 1, 2 like that. But this does not look very good. So that's why I always just make a 4-blade propeller. I know it's not that accurate, but, you know, it's the way the game works. I said that with my 0 tutorial, if you haven't done that already. I mentioned the same thing. So, but there's pretty much the airplane done. As you can see, it looks quite bare and colorless. But we will be changing it to this right now. So yeah, so we'll put on the final details, and that will be it with this tutorial. Okay, so for the little details, now this is not going to include the camouflage. I'm going to be mentioning that after. We're just going to be putting in like these buttons and the white areas, the stripes and the cross on the tail. So for the buttons, you're just going to add them on each of the sides except for the bottom, because that's where your intake is. Now these, if you look at the engine, if you look at pictures of the C200, it has this very rigid looking cowling. So I tried to represent that as best as possible just by using buttons. So it's the best I could do. If you can come up with something better, then go for it for sure. So right here at the back, so where you got your tail, where it kind of ends, like right here, you're going to change that to white, because Italian planes have this white stripe on them. And you're going to grab your quartz slab. I don't know if I actually mentioned quartz slabs either, so you're going to need those. And you're just going to replace this sandstone slab with a quartz slab, and you can just delete everything here. And then replace this with your white. then you're going to place some slabs down here and right there. So there you go. There's your little white stripe on the back. And then you're going to cut out a cross shape, and then you can place your cross at the very back. Most Italian planes, actually pretty much all of them, at least part of the World War II Italy before 1943, had this white cross on the tail of their planes. Now, obviously, the cross would have looked a lot different on the real thing and smaller than this one, but Minecraft has its limitations, really. But when I do the bigger ones, it makes more sense to do them. There are these like decals on the wings, which like these three things that represent the Italian Air Force back then. But I cannot fit them on this plane because wouldn't look as nice, so I just left them off. But there's pretty much for the white detail, and then we'll just do the pitot tube. So if you grab your end rod, you're just going to place one end rod just like that. Alright, so that's pretty much. Oh, and if you just want to do the cockpit really quickly, like I said, if you just want to have this plane just to sit in it like this and just kind of enjoy, pretend you're in like a flight simulator game or whatever and just look around, you can do that. If you want your cockpit on this plane, so I'm just going to get rid of a couple of my materials. You're going to grab all of your cockpit materials, which is the stone brick stairs, which you can use any seat, but Italian planes do have gray seats. Like, they have a gray colored interior inside, so that's why I chose the gray seat. So you're going to have to eliminate this glass, and I'm just going to grab it again. And then you're going to place an item frame here, a clock or a compass, whichever one you prefer. You're going to place a end rod here. This is for your pilot stick. Now, if you want to make rudders, like rudder pedals, you can grab a dark oak wood fence. You will have to fill this area up right there, but you can actually place them underneath for rudder pedals for the pilot. And then you can place your seat like this, and then you're going to grab an item frame, and you can grab some brown wool. I'm actually just adding extra details onto this thing now. I did not do this on my other one, but I probably will. Where did I see that brown wool again? Right here. Okay. You're going to grab your brown wool. This is just for like a little headrest. And then you can place your glass back in. So there is your cockpit on this airplane. As you can see, it's very, very tiny. But in real life, it was supposed to be like that too. So, anyways, so now let's talk about the camouflage. Okay, so for the camouflage, now you can go ahead and do this yourself, but I'll show you kind of what I did. Now, I'm not going to show you how to place every single bit of camo on this thing. I think it would just take way too long, so what I'm just going to show you is just a general pattern that I've done with the plane, but as I just said, you can literally create your own pattern if you want. And but all I really did was I just kind of went around and deleted some of the areas with the sandstone and just kind of replaced them with the dark oak wood. Now you can use any other color you want. I just thought the dark oak wood looks a little more like close to what the actual camouflage looked like on these planes. But you kind of see I'm kind of creating this checkers pattern. So that's what you could do for the wing. And then you can also do the same thing for like the tail wings as well. For the fuselage, you can just grab your blocks. You can have one here, one there, and one here maybe, like that. And then for your slabs down here, place one like that. I mean, you can really do whatever you want. I'm actually just gonna move this one here, and then move that one there, just to make it look more like the pattern here. And I'll just replace that. Yeah, so you can kind of do something like this, like create like an actual pattern. Like if you wanted like go up, down, like this. So it's up to you what you want to do with the patterning on this plane. Like camouflages are never really like actually like they don't really follow a pattern usually. They're just kind of sometimes just everywhere, depending on how the plane is. Like if you look at a lot of the British planes or even the German planes, there are a lot of times the camos they don't really follow any specific order. They're more just everywhere kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's something you can do with the camouflage. You can play around a little bit with it and everything, and you can come up with your own little schemes to it as well. And if you also want to build this plane in different colors, you can. This one is more representative of the North African one, because Italy did participate in the war in Africa, and also in Malta as well, like, which is in Italy, so this is the colors they would have been. But there's also some I've seen in pictures which are green with like white camouflage, and there's a couple other different color schemes with it. And obviously, though, there are a lot more colors that could be added to this plane, because the Italians did detail their planes incredibly well with camouflage. But obviously, there's quite a few colors that we don't really have in this game with that they have. So, anyways, you guys can play around with the camouflage however you want. You can like make this plane all colorful and everything. But that's all I'm going to be doing for this tutorial, and that's the very end of it. Okay guys, that finishes this tutorial on the Macchi C.200 Saetta. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of these cool awesome builds. And if you have any build requests of what you would like to see next, please let me know down in the comments. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.